Today we will be continuing part 5 of this manhwa. After Zhao Chongfeng's assessment, everyone present in the hall was feeling sluggish, so Lu Xing walked up to the examiner and said, "Can I go next? There is no one in line anymore." The examiner noticed that everyone behind Lu Xing was down after bearing the pressure released from a rank 3 martial artist. Lu Xing calmly stood up. He noticed that the eyes of everyone in the room were focused on him. The scarred man and the girl with the purple hairband also looked at him. Even the examiner looked at him. After all, not many examinees were of Lu Xing's age, which in itself represented talent. "Don't be nervous, just do what you usually do." The examiner spoke gently in a rare moment. Lu Xing nodded and placed his hand on the sphere. Everyone looked at the display on the instrument. Some serious, some casual. The next moment, the value was displayed. 15.701. The whole room instantly exploded. More than half of the people jumped straight up from their positions, and the scarred man and the girl with the purple hair band also stood up as a show of agitation. One of the guys with a casual face even slid straight to the floor on his butt. "Crap! Really, I'm not mistaken, right? 15 points? Level 2 martial artist? The machine is broken, right? I think it's broken." Everyone stared at the value on the apparatus with disbelief, their eyes sliding back and forth between the gauge and Lu Xing's body. Even the examiner's hand holding the form shook fiercely for a moment, then he quickly checked the machine. "Don't be nervous, just relax. The CPI test can be done as many times as you want, hit the one you are most satisfied with." The others listened with a twitch in their faces. Lu Xing took a deep breath and said to the examiner, "No, one will be more than enough." The examiner was flabbergasted and had yet to give out any reaction. Then he saw the action of Lu Xing's fist. The others too saw the initial posture Lu Xing took. Only the scarred man had a change go through him when he looked at Lu Xing, a fierce burst of astonishment shone in his eyes. He subconsciously took 2 steps forward. A dull and loud sound, louder than the sound made by the scarred man during the test just now. Everybody's heart jumped at the sound. They eagerly looked towards the gauge, waiting for the result to be displayed. However, the eagerness only lasted a moment. Just a moment. Then they froze in their spots. Their mouths were wide open, their eyes were dull, and their expressions were as if they had just seen a ghost. One. The examiner's expression was dull as he tried to announce the result. He soon realized that he was repeating the number 1. He quickly shut up and then quickly read it again. 15,709. Lu Xing was not surprised by this result. He had already measured his CPI once earlier at the Red River Martial Arts Academy. However, his previous result had been a bit lower than 15,600, making the current score his highest yet. "After breaking through in my fist and hand combat skills, together with stellar power generation and natural breathing technique, my CPI had directly increased 10x the standard BQV. Is this fruit of my martial arts technique?" Lu Xing sighed in his heart. After admiring his achievement, Lu Xing turned his head to look at the examiner. "That's fine, you don't need to demonstrate it again." The examiner woke up from the dreamlike state, subconsciously nodded his head, and then read out his usual lines. "Congratulations, student Lu Xing, you have successfully passed the level 1 martial artist assessment. Henceforth you'll be. The examiner couldn't continue reading halfway through. The reason was that he was unsure how many levels he should clear him for. Lu Xing had declared indirectly through his application that he was a level 1 martial artist, but his real strength was far beyond level 1 or even a few level 2 martial artists. His CPI was at an exaggerated level 3 standard. How should he be graded? Level 1, 2, or 3? The examiner had an anguished expression. If he did not handle the situation well, it would end in Lu Xing's discontent. And to offend such a promising genius martial artist was just like him saying goodbye to his job. Thinking of this, the examiner ran to Lu Xing and said, "About your grading, I need to report it first." "Don't worry, Lu Xing, the Martial Arts Association won't bury any talents. Oh no, a genius. Especially a genius like you." Lu Xing was a bit stunned but soon accepted the result. It meant that he'd have to head back and wait for the official announcement. Then I'll get back first. Lu Xing still had questions he wanted to ask him, but the examiner had already run out of the assessment room, leaving behind the rest of the examinees who had yet to undergo their individual assessments. Lu Xing was helpless. He could only shake his head as he prepared to leave. But when he turned around, a figure suddenly jumped behind him, blocking his way. It was the man with a sturdy figure. Zhao Changfeng! The man extended a hand to him, his gaze burning. Lu Xing hesitated for a moment, then extended his hand to shake the extended hand. Lu Xing! After Lu Xing said his name, a trace of suppressed excitement flashed through the scarred man's eyes as if he had received some kind of glory. He nodded his head and took the initiative to make a way for Lu Xing. Lu Xing pondered. Is this a gesture of goodwill? From the side, Lu Xing noticed another person running towards him with his hand outstretched, seemingly following Zhao Changfeng's example. Yet, behind him the rest of the occupants of the room also charged, with their hands outstretched, following the trend. He hurriedly fled out of the assessment room, almost flying out of there. This etiquette was amusing if it was just one person who followed and observed it, but it was no longer funny if too many people did it. Moreover, the rest were more like a bunch of cats and dogs than respectable martial artists. Just outside the Martial Artists Association, 3 girls were waiting for someone. One of them was Lu Qinghe. Lu Xing went around the Martial Association and felt that there was really nothing more to do, so he was ready to go home. Just as he was about to leave, he suddenly heard someone call out to him from behind. Lu Xing! Lu Xing turned his head and saw 3 girls standing playfully not far away. The 3 girls were about the same age, all a little younger than him, and the one standing in the middle looked at him with a complicated expression on her face. Who would it be if not his sister, Lu Qinghe? Lu Qinghe? Why are you here? Lu Xing walked over to the 3 girls. I should be the one asking you this question. Lu Qinghe retorted in a good-natured manner. Skipping classes, sleeping in your room every day, and now what are you doing here in the Martial Arts Association? Lu Qinghe regarded Lu Xing with a very investigative look. Lu Xing was slightly embarrassed. Even if he skipped school, even if he spent most of his time in his room sleeping, how did Lu Qinghe know about it? It looked like his sister was paying him much attention lately. Lu Xing replied casually. I had something to do around here. Now that it's done, I'm leaving. What are you guys doing here? Lu Qinghe handed him a blank stare, obviously unwilling to answer. At the same time, an oval-faced girl wearing a pink hairpin, next to Lu Qinghe glanced at Lu Xing and quickly introduced herself as Su Nua. It was this who quickly explained. We are here to accompany senior sister Yang Yuan, who is our senior in the martial arts club. We are very close to her. The girl further said. Qinghe, is he your brother? He isn't as frustrating as you usually paint him as. He is obviously your older brother, a very good old brother, you too. Lu Qinghe looked at her 2 girlfriends who betrayed her one after another and fumed almost to the point of being speechless. Seeing Lu Qinghe deflate, Lu Xing took the initiative to introduce himself. Hello, I'm Lu Xing, Lu Qinghe's older brother. Qinghe seemed to cause you a lot of trouble all the time. You're the one causing trouble. Lu Qinghe became angry and retorted. The 2 little girls were very nice to talk to, and the slim one nodded her head with a smile. Lu Xing smiled faintly and stretched out his hand to rub on Lu Qinghe's head, causing Lu Qinghe's face to blush and have an urge to hit him. But before she could react, he was gone. I'm so pissed off. Lu Qinghe tidied her hair that had been ruffled by Lu Xing and said with a huff. But a strange ripple rose in her heart. Qinghe, your brother's so damn good-looking, ah. So tall, fair, and handsome, not delicate, but very sunny, yeah. Lu Qinghe replied in an irritated tone. Feng Fanfan still wanted to say something. At this time, Su Nua looked in a direction and shouted in surprise. Senior sister Yang Yuan has come out. Lu Qinghe's trio quickly greeted a tall, pretty-looking girl with a purple hairband on her hair. Sister Yang Yuan, how was it? Is it over? As soon as they met, Lu Qinghe couldn't wait to ask, her pretty little face full of expectation. Yang Yuan's expression was somewhat strange. It was a kind of unspeakable complexity. Don't mention it, There was an accident, the examination was suspended, I guess we have to wait for the afternoon schedule. Yang Yuan shook her head. The Lu Qinghe trio were a bit surprised, and quickly asked, What accident? What kind of accident can suspend the examination? Yang Yuan said with a bitter smile. A monster demon. He scared the examiner into fleeing. Without him, the examinations cannot proceed. The Lu Qinghe trio listened to her with rapt attention. Why? And Yuan sighed, her eyes astir with complex emotions, saying, In fact, the boy about the same age as me, or maybe a bit younger than me, I don't know. During the test his measured BQV was 15.7, and more shocking was his CPI, which was around 15,700. Don't you think that's scary? I always took myself as a bit of genius. Now thanks to that guy I see the truth. Yang Yuan sighed, and continued, I know what a real genius is like now. After hearing Yang Yuan's words, the Lu Qinghe trio's small mouths opened wide, eyes rounded, as if they were all stuck. They were so shocked that they didn't know what expression to use. Sister Yang. Feng Fanfan suddenly reacted and asked curiously, What is this person's name? Do you know? Lu Qinghe and Su Nu immediately perked up their ears and stared closely at Yang Yuan. Yang nodded and opened her mouth to say it. Lu Xing! Yang Yuan sighed, with a face filled with regret and lamentation. As she spoke, she suddenly realized that something was wrong. When she looked up, she saw that the expressions on the Lu Qinghe trio had become incredibly strange. Especially Lu Qinghe, her whole person seemed utterly flabbergasted. Yang Yuan blinked, feeling amazed, and was about to ask. Suddenly, she heard a sentence floating weakly out of Fan Fan's mouth. Qinghe, your brother's name is Lu Xing, right? And he just walked out of the assessment room. This time, it was Yang Yuan's turn to freeze. Lu Xing walked all the way back home. On the way back, he felt a bit hungry and incidentally bought home a dozen or so meat buns. He went while munching on a few of them. Almost to the entrance of the community, Lu Xing saw a group of people hurriedly running ahead in front of him. Lu Xing felt the uniform they wore to be a bit familiar, then he recalled seeing them in the Red River Martial Arts Academy. A few residents stood at the entrance of the community looking at the hustle-bustle while discussing by themselves. Who are these people? The Red River Martial Arts Academy. I heard they are looking for someone. They've already searched several neighborhoods already. They went door to door. Lu Xing listened to the general gossip going around but did not pay the situation much attention. He only knew of the Red River Martial Arts Academy loosely, and had been there only a couple of times. If the academy was looking for revenge, they simply were. It had nothing to do with him. Lu Xing finished his last bun when he paced back into his house. Lu Xing instantly went to his room and started practicing. After some time, he opened his eyes inside the dream world. In base 1359, he was standing at the exact same place, where he left before. Lu Xing looked at the optical mind and spoke calmly. Pull up my biography. In the next second, a large amount of information was presented in front of Lu Xing. The moment he saw his picture, Lu Xing's heart beat hard. Then he knew that his thoughts were right. In the photo, the original handsome and resolute middle-aged Lu Xing has disappeared. In its place, there was an emaciated old man with white hair and a vigorous spirit. Life summary. Became a level 2 martial artist at the age of 18 and became a sensation in Baihe City. Later, on the recommendation of the Baihe City Martial Arts Association, he participated in the Dongning Province Prodigy Training Camp and entered the top 20 while in training. In the same year, he entered Dongning University of Martial Arts, ranking 1st in the city, 32nd in the province, and 145th in the country. 3 years later, he graduated from Dongning University of Martial Arts and served in the military. 5 years later, he was honorably retired with the rank of lieutenant and founded the Sacred Martial Arts Academy in Baihe City. Was promoted to a level 6 martial artist at the age of 45. Failed to qualify as a level 7 master in the same year. He died on July 383, at the age of 87 in an attack from the foreign beats on Baihe City. Sure enough, the future can be changed, or at least, my future can be changed. A week ago, I was a level 4 martial artist who died at the age of 37, and a week later I successfully managed to be in my 80s. My strength hit the roof at level 6, and if I hadn't met with an accident, I might have lived even longer. Effort is of prime importance. The saying, choice determines fate, really does make sense now. Closing the interface of the optical mind, a determined look appeared in Lu Xing's eyes. Through this verification, I can be sure that my idea is valid. Fate can be changed, indeed. But to truly change the fate of the human race, and shift the trajectory of the entire world for the next 10,000 years, the strength I have now is far from enough to achieve that. Level 6 Past Master is insignificant, but Level 7 Master, Level 8 Grand Master, or even a Level 9 Martial Sage is just too unreachable. Perhaps when I reach the peak of Level 10, or even Level 11 in this era, only then will I have the slightest possibility of saving what needs to be saved. Even in the future, 10,000 years later, the Level 11 martial powerhouses were a rare sight, let alone in the current age with only a martial cultivation history of just over 300 years. The path that Lu Xing chose was simply impossibly difficult. However, he was resolved to give it his best. Baihe City, Martial Artists Association. Inside the chairman's office. The 59-year-old Xiao Yuhe had black hair and a rosy complexion, and there were hardly any wrinkles on his face, so he could not be seen as an old man who would be a sexagenarian soon. But for a peak Level 6 martial artist who was about to enter the realm of a Level 7 master, this was not surprising. Xiao Yuhe was writing the character, God, with a brush, and he was concentrating on it. Xiao Yuhe once met with an old master, who said that he had accumulated enough in all other aspects, but only his spiritual cultivation was falling short. As long as he wrote 100,000 God characters, it was possible for him to reach the realm of a master. Chairman! The door was suddenly opened, and a person dashed in. Xiao Yuhe's hand shook and a bit of ink fell on the paper, and the half-written character was ruined. Xiao Yuhe glanced at the character with some regret, casually put down the pen, picked up the towel at hand and wiped his hands, and spoke. What is it? What caused you to be so in a panic that you even forget how to knock before you enter? The person who came in was Xiao Yuhe's secretary. She was in her 30s, wearing a pair of glasses, and she looked svelte. Sorry, President, I'll make sure to pay attention next time. The secretary apologized embarrassed, and then her expression became serious. There is something important to report. The secretary picked up the document in her hands and reported the matter briefly. Xiao Yuhe's face was calm at first, and gradually his expression began to change when they were at the meat of the report. Bring the data here. Quick! Xiao Yuhe couldn't care less about anything and urged quickly. The secretary hurriedly handed up the documents in her hands. Xiao Yuhe took the document and carefully flipped through it. Soon, his eyes began to gradually widen, and there were small involuntary twitches of muscles at the corners of his eyes and mouth. In the end, a huge splash of surprise bloomed on his face. After a while, Xiao Yuhe's body slowly leaned back and made an obvious inhaling motion. A muffled sound came from the screen. That was the sound of Lu Xing throwing a punch. 15,700 plus, Perfection Realm Fist Technique, he said word by word. The secretary froze for a moment, her expression somewhat confused. Xiao Yuhe waved his hand and said, This is the terminology of our martial arts world. You are not a martial artist, so you don't understand. You just need a little. Xiao Yuhe spoke with a complicated face. What I know, the ones who have trained their fists to the perfection realm at his age are no more than 10. The secretary was shocked. There was a feeling of uncertainty. 17 years old, perfection realm fist technique, tisk tisk tisk. Xiao Yuhe lampooned for a while. But even with the help of a perfection realm fist technique, it's quite hard to score a CPI of more than 15,000 with a BQV of 15.7. The increase in combat power from perfection realm fist techniques are only twice at most. Xiao Yuhe's eyebrows furrowed fiercely. He rewound the video and rewatched it again. During this process, Xiao Yuhe's eyes widened little by little. 15.7 BQV. 10 times the standard CPI proportional to BQV. Ordinary family. Finally, when he saw it for the 5th time, Xiao Yuhe violently stood up from his seat, startling the secretary next to him. That must be it, it must be! Otherwise, it's simply unexplainable. Xiao Yuhe could not suppress his excitement, and clenched his fist tightly, his excitement and elation far surpassing any precedents. Chairman, the secretary cautiously called out. He was soon done exclaiming and had finished his hysterical laugh. The chairman picked up his secretary in his arms, saying, "Ha ha, Xiao Su! This time, our Baihe Martial Arts Association has really picked up a treasure. A gifted martial artist, it's amazing that one has emerged in our Baihe city. Plus, he is so young and has such an outstanding talent in first techniques." "Ha!" the secretary said. "How rare are gifted martial artists, Martial cultivation is, in essence, the process of constantly tapping into the latent potential of the human body. In this process, a few might awaken powerful abilities that are beyond imagination. These individuals, as a collective, were simply called talent martial artists. This is the only possible explanation. Talented martial artists will experience a surge in BQV at the initial stage of the awakening of their talent, which just so happened to coincide with the events that surround Lu Xing. As for his outrageous combat power, that far exceeds that of a normal martial artist, it should be the natural ability that he has awakened, it might be strength-related or something similar." Xiao Yuhe's thoughts were clear, all his doubts about Lu Xing dissolved, leaving behind only a sense of gratitude and joy. Thinking of this, Xiao Yuhe could hardly hold back his excitement and joy and quickly arranged for his secretary to proceed. "Quick! Make haste and arrange a car for me. I wish to personally visit Lu Xing at his home, pay my respects to his parents, and thank them for giving birth to such a good son. Yes, President." Enai Shuang stood at the entrance of the Martial Arts Academy, pacing back and forth, looking a bit annoyed. A sturdy young man wearing a Red River Martial Arts Academy's martial arts uniform ran in, panting. "Senior Sister Enai, how did it go?" Enai Shunag's eyes instantly lit up with a bit of expectation and urgency in her voice as she asked. "Any news?" The youth wiped the sweat on his forehead and nodded. "Yes. His name is Lu Xing. A student of Baihe Third High School, a senior in high schooler. His father works as a porter in Xinxing Logistics. His mother works as a cashier in Jiajiafu Supermarket. He has a younger sister, and the family lives in the 15th building of Bailin District. Good." Enai Shuang clenched her fist hard, her face showing a pleased look. The young man next to her was a bit puzzled and couldn't help but ask curiously, "Sister Enai, why are you looking for this Lu Xing? Did he piss you off?" "Senior sister, he's just a child, you don't need to push him to the brink. Shut up." Enai Shuang couldn't listen to him any more and interrupted. It was hindering her good mood. The youth meekly shut up and did not dare to say more. While the youth stared, Enai Shuang's phone rang. "Got it." Enai Shuang hung up. Her beautiful face was a canvas of complexity. The call was from her friend in the Martial Arts Association. "I knew it would be soon, but I didn't expect it to be so soon." Enai Shuang took a deep breath, her usual calm returned to her eyes, then she strode towards the door with big steps. "Take me to Lu Xing's house. By the way, ask my juniors to buy some presents suitable for elders and 16 to 17-year-old girls. Let it be a bit expensive." Enai Shuang had been desperately waiting to meet Lu Xing since the day she saw his BQV and CPI results. That's all for today. If you like the next part of this manhwa, just comment below. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to like, subscribe and comment for getting epic content on this channel. See you next time.